Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you are watching Off the Track, and it is time to drop the hammer.
So that's the first little mini event we wanted to talk about on Speed Week. And we are now moving into probably one of the first really funny events that took place as we travel day by day to new racetracks. And this actually occurred at the Sunset Speedway Park. It was my first time being there. It was your first time being there as well. Remember, this was my third night in a 360, I think, third or fourth night in a 360 sprint car. I'm just trying to figure it out. I didn't even know a 360 would race on a place as small as Banks. And so we got there, and believe it or not, I didn't qualify too bad. I think they had 20 cars. We qualified 8th. So we were up in the top 50% of the field against some pretty stout guys, because usually for 360 Speed Week, you know, guys from California come up, guys from Washington come down, and they really meet in a good middle ground for some of the best racers on the West Coast.
Yeah, for sure. A funny little mention, since we're talking about Sunset Speedway, I remember the first time we got there, because we left, I think it was Grove or something, at like right after the race finished. So I think we got there at like 2 a.m. or something. I think, didn't we hop the fence to go look at the track at like 2 a.m.? Because this was the first time we've seen the track. And me and Tanner, when we get to a track super late, we always like to go check it out at night. Especially
then, these were all places we were going to for the first time. So you're like, hey, let's go get a look. Usually the moon was out. And this, that did happen the first time that we got to Sunset. They have like a nice little gated area where you stage on one side and then you actually exit on the other. So it's actually a decent little pit lane, how they have it to enter and exit the track. But yeah, we actually ended up just hopping the fence, walked up to it. Pretty beautiful facility they have there in Banks. And hopefully we'll get a chance to go there. Even you get a chance to run your dwarf car there, because they have some pretty phenomenal dwarf car racing during ISCS Speed Week. But that's one of those places I think that was hit pretty heavily because of the pandemic, because of where it's located in the state. But getting into this mini event, so what happened, we just got done, I think I just got done with my heat race.
Yeah, it was your heat race, and I think this is the heat race one of the only times I've been with you and we've wrecked some parts. I think didn't your bumper go into the tank?
Oh yeah, because what happened is, so Banks, super small, and at the time they didn't really prep it as much as slick. Now they have it really figured out, but back then they were still kind of working out how to prep the racetrack to have it be as successful as that could. And so it was really right around the bottom and so much throttle control. Like in the heat races, you're just pedaling around there, maybe half throttle down the straightaway, and guys were kind of going door to door, and I think someone wore someone out, and I just happened to kind of slide into them. And I think I bent up a Nerf bar, and maybe a torsion bar in the rear went bad or something like that. But after our heat race,
we're fixing your parts.
Yeah, we're fixing our car after our heat race, just getting ready for the main event. 20 cars, everyone goes to the feature, and there's a fight in the heat race after us. And it's our next door neighbor, which is Billy Aton. Billy, we'd met him that Speed Week. He was a super cool guy. And actually, I believe it was John Carney. They were just in a heat race, and they kind of got together out on the racetrack.
We didn't get to see it, actually.
We didn't get to see exactly what happened, so we don't have a comment there. But all I know is Billy comes in the pits. He was pretty heated,
because he had the one with the wrecked parts.
Yeah, you could tell he obviously got the worst end of whatever happened. And then you had John Carney, who had actually never really been to this part of the country, I think to race, because he's been from down in the south, like Texas and stuff. And he was driving the 7 car at the time. And so Billy gets out of his car. His team pulls his back bumper off, because I'm pretty sure that's what happened. Like maybe the 7 ran into the back of him, or something occurred like that. So he takes his torn up rear bumper, walks over to the 7's pit, John Carney, and actually yells at him, and then throws the back bumper
at the car.
And John Carney caught the back bumper and threw it back at him. It was some words that were exchanged, and
it was so weird, because when he threw it, it was like kind of like they're yelling at each other, and John turned around because he was over it. And I don't know what he got a sense of, but he turned around and caught the like back bumper, like reverse, and then threw it back. And then the two are coming at each other. Like this is about to get gnarly. And out of nowhere, I think it was Brian Crockett,
the race director at the time, or one of the officials. Everyone rushed over there, obviously knowing what was happening, and so everything got broken up. But it was just funny that we initially caught that, and how the Banks pits are. I mean, it's pretty open. Like where we're pitted, where you're pitted over here, you can see everything. So the whole pit area got a pretty good view of all that. But that was just pretty funny that, you know, throw a back bumper at someone and they actually catch it. So,
and I can't believe Brian slid in there with the quad right in between.
It was crazy how it all happened. So that is one of our